Okay, guys, we're gonna get into working on this little Mustang fastback here. We're gonna start cutting his quarters off. We're gonna start on the passenger side because Dave and I have, if you remember, the quarters were just totally fucked up on this thing. Whoever did this just did a horrible job. So we've lined up the hood. First you put your hood on. We've already gone through this. You put the hood on, then you adjust, then you put your door on, and then you line your front fender up. And we're working our way from the front to the back because it's just so fucked. It's just so fucked up. So we're going to start here. I'm going to start cutting these quarters off, so I'll keep piecing in some little videos in here together here, and I'll show you as I can cut it off. I'm not too enthused so far. I've already looked at this thing, and the guy's just made a hell of a mess out of it, how he's welded it on. So those of you who forgot what it looked like, I'll give you a quick view here. So there you go. So if you remember, they didn't even take out the old lead. They left it all in there. And as you can see, let me close the deck lid here. Look at how thick that body filler is. Look at that. You know, and they just overlapped it. And then it came up too short on the back, so they built it up with Bondo here because it didn't reach the taillight housing extension. So of course, normally you'd have all this, I don't know if you can see this properly, but it'd be spot welded in the wheel well. Well, they've done spot welds and then they've welded it on the fucking backside here too, solid. So I'm gonna go to cut this off. You know, I'm trying to save this guy. He's got a good inner wheel tub, right? You don't want to get involved in, well, it's not that you don't want to get involved, you just kind of, you know, you're kind of hoping to save that so you don't get into a bunch of work. But these stupid cocksuckers have welded it. Not only did they spot weld it across here, they've welded it across the back. Assholes. Anyway, so we're gonna get into it. They can weld this. They can weld this solid here, but yet across here where it's supposed to be welded with spot welds, they put 50 fucking rivets. At least they did that. At least I can just get in there and grind the heads of those suckers off, and that'll just pop off like there's no tomorrow. But anyway, so that's where we're at, and of course there's the new quarter right there. And of course I bought the full-on quarters. As you can see, they go right up into the roof line there. Go right into the roof line, and they wrap right into the chunk area. And this is the way to do it. If you're going to put quarters on, unless money is an object, unless you're on a tight budget, you can only afford, like the cheaper ones, that's fine. But if you can afford to buy the better ones like this, the full-on quarters like that, it's just a nicer, cleaner job. Because if you actually look at that quarter panel, there's absolutely nowhere where you're going to have welds along on the top. So, you know, the weld is going to be up on top of the roof line. You got a little bit of body work there to do, and that's it. The rest of it is within inside the chunk area and all that. So, yeah, anyway, that's it. So, I'll start cutting away here, and I'll keep adding clips in this video as I'm cutting away, and we'll see where we get with this thing. Okay, let's get at it. Okay, guys, so we're back here. What I've done here is I've cut the quarter panel. Hang on one second here. We've got to turn the radio off, because if I don't turn the radio down, YouTube comes after me because they say that there's music in the background and I don't have rates to play that music. So anyone making a video out there, be careful of that. Anyway, so here we go. So I've got the quarter panel off of it now. Now I didn't cut the quarter panel off like properly. Like I got to drill all the spot welds out. What I'm doing here is, you can see I just cut the outer skin area off because this still has to all come off in here because it's on the new one. As you can see right there, it's on the new one. And you can see the new one, it wraps around into the tail light area down in there, which I've still got. So if we look here, like for an example, you can see here where there's a definition between the two. There's a bunch of spot welds here I got to drill out where they put on, and they've also welded it solid in areas too, like that. So that's a fucking nightmare. It shouldn't be like that. It wasn't like that from the factory, and there's solid welds up in here. And so but I took the quarter panel off so that way, if I have a problem, I can get in behind here and kind of get in there with a chisel or something like that, because I'm trying to save as much as I can as the factory lip for the gentleman, for Rick, who owns it. He was just here actually, because if you can see here, someone has installed, sorry guys, I'm up too close here, they installed new wheel tubs, outer wheel tubs. And here's an example. I was in here poking around. You can see where where's my finger? You can see where I pried this down, and then there's a spot weld right here. And now here where it's not pried down, they've welded it solid all across the back. What a nightmare. You know, and then, you know, you can see I've got it pulled down. You know, that's where I've drilled out spot welds, and then wherever it's tight, it's been welded solid in the back. And this lip, if you can see it, actually, the wheel tub, the inner wheel, or the outer wheel tub has a lip that folds under, and this spot welds to it. You drill holes in your quarter before you put it on, you spot weld it to that. But they've also welded it solid and behind. Now they replaced this tub, so I'm trying not to destroy this lip, because if I do, if I just start pulling this off and wrecking this lip in behind on this tub, well, now I got to put a whole new lip on the tub, and you know, we're trying to do the best job we can for the customer. We might be taking a little more time here, going a little slower, but in the end, it'll save him money, because if I just go ahead and cut this and then put a new piece in there, it's just going to cost him money that way too. Now here's a prime example of what shops do, because I think you don't see it. Now I know, here, let me turn this around. I don't know the full story. I mean, Rick had this done for a shop, and he pulled it out. He was smart enough to pull it out because he wasn't happy with what he was seeing there, and good on him. That's what it should be. I don't know for sure. I never know the full story, because I only get told what my customer tells me. But I take it that my customers tell me the truth. They, you know, because they seem like all real honest, nice guys. So I have to take that what they're telling me is right, because I never ask who the shops are. I don't want to know. Some customers do tell me, and boy, am I surprised at what some high-end shops fucking hide behind stuff. Holy God, I've seen some huge high-end shops, especially out my way, hide some real nasty shit behind their work. But again, maybe the customer said, leave it. You'll never know unless you're a fly on the wall. And who wants to be a fly? They just sit and shit all day, right? But that's probably what the world is made out of anyway, is just shit. But anyway, let's get on to this. This is what's going on. If Rick would have known, he wouldn't have allowed this. On your wheel tub, they've taken it off. And wheel tubs are in two sections. This is a lip, and it spot welds to your inner wheel tub, which is in here, and this is your outer wheel tub. They've replaced it. I know they've replaced it. When they replace it, there's a big, huge brace that comes in behind here that it welds to. Well, look at here. Look at this. This is not a fact. This is where they've chiseled it away, cut it away, knocked pieces out. Because there, if you look carefully, I don't know if you can see that. Oh, my finger's in the fucking way, but there's a spot weld. There's a spot weld there. They chiseled it away to get the old wheel tub off, and instead of repair this panel before they put the new one on, they just left it. You know why? Because who gives a shit? Who's going to see it? They don't care. Customer's never going to see it. It's fucking buried. They didn't take the extra 20 minutes or whatever it's going to take to fix that. Why wouldn't you? You're getting paid for it. It's not like it's just a job where you're coming in and you're fixing a little dent and you see that and you're like, I don't want to deal with it. Obviously they were putting full quarters and wheel tubs on. So it's not like it was just a small hack and whack job. They were doing a proper. Why wouldn't they fix that? Because they don't care. No one sees it. That's why. So obviously now, I mean, what am I going to do here? I don't fucking know. I mean, I'm not taking the wheel tub out to fix it. But what I'll do is, I might, what am I going to do here? Let's think about this. I mean, this here should slip in behind here, and this should spot weld to it. So what I might do is I might cut this out like this, because I can get in here, especially when I get the rest of this panel off, I can get in here. Because like I said, I'm not going to pull his wheel tub off now. It's not worth it. I'm going to cut this out like this probably. Butt weld in. Actually, you know why? I don't even have to butt weld in a piece there. I mean, it's just a structural support. You could even overlap it. Well, whatever. We'll see what we do here. I do like butt welding, though. I hate it when people see things have been welded in. But anyway, I'm going to cut it out, put a piece in there, and I'll slip it down in behind. Then, unfortunately, and then what I can do is I can get in there and I can drill and I can put some spot welds back in. And so if someone ever pulls the quarter panel off, they're going to see I put a piece in there. But it's better than leaving it like that. Not that anyone's going to pull the quarter panel off anyway. So as you can see, like I say, I still got to cut the roof area off. I still got to get in here. I'm just doing it this way because it just makes it a lot easier if I need to get in areas like this of a chisel or something to try and save. I'm trying to save the metal that the new quarter has to weld to. So that's what I'm trying to do. And here's the next big kicker. If you look at this, it's all surface rusting in there, everything. You know, why wouldn't they have put something on there? Why wouldn't they put some coating on there before they put the new quarter on? I always do, because if you paint this and coat this, it's not going to burn off when you're welding the new quarter on, because you're welding the new quarter up inside here. In their case, they were welding it here though, but still, they're a long ways away from here and there. Why wouldn't you coat this with something, put some proper paint on there or some undercoating or something? Why wouldn't you have done that? In my case, I would have left it along here. I would have put on some weld-through primer, so at least it's got some coating in there, and I would have done my spot welds and welded it. But I would have had this covered or something. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, go back and look at some of my videos. You'll see the Chevelle that I call the Nightmare Project. You'll see how everything is sprayed before I put the new quarters on. I even spray the back half of the quarter panels, the new ones, when they're going on. except in the areas where I'll be welding, like I said, because I know it's going to burn off. That's where I put my weld through primer. But I don't know why they wouldn't spray the back. And I guess what I'm getting at is look at these quarters. They didn't even spray them. Here's the quarter. See the green paint? Okay, see the green paint? They painted that inside the trunk area after the quarter panel was on the car. But do you see the middle right there? Look at it. Look as I zoom in. Look at all the rust, all the lines, because it's bare metal. It is solid bare metal. They didn't spray anything. So they put the quarter panels on without even spraying the backside first. On this car, what I will do is I will spray the backside of these quarter panels. No, not with the factory color. I will spray it. I will spray it with probably a nice a rust inhibitor paint or a nice seams, or not a seam, a texture spray. Then at least when it's going together, it's all on there, it's been painted. Then I will get in there in the trunk area and I will paint it the proper color the car is supposed to go. And in areas like we just seen, where it's bare metal, at least it's got some sort of coating on there, rather than nothing. Just left out bare metal to be exposed to rust. So it just, you gotta really, any of you guys out there building a car at home, don't, as much as you quickly want to get the quarters on because you want to see what your car looks like with the quarter panels on, just slow it down a bit, take your time, and just take the extra effort to go a little step further. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be a nicer job and it's going to last you longer. And if you ever go to sell the car, it's a good selling feature. And guess what? Even if you're not going to sell it, any of your buddies you show it to, they're going to be like, holy shit, you did a beautiful job there. I really like that. Can you help me out? And that's how it all gets started. Because that's how it started for me. Started building cars at nighttime at home for myself. Then it got into doing it for friends. And it got into doing it for people. The whole time I was doing mechanicking or whatever I was working for as a job back then. And then when the business got built up, I said to my job I was working at, my Monday to Friday daytime job, I said, that's it, I'm done. I gave them a month's notice and I left. And that was 14 years ago almost. And I have never looked back once. And I have never had a shortage of work, ever. And I was living in Surrey there, and I always had a year's worth of work booked in. Now I'm out in Chilliwack, and I've got a solid 2 years of work right now booked in, if not close to 3. It's just ridiculous how much work I've got. I've got more work than most shops out there that have been around longer than me have got. And why that is? Because you take the extra effort, and you be honest with people. You show people stuff. You tell them. Okay, remember, big thumbs up. I'm going to go cut away the rest of this thing. Okay, bye. So what I'm doing here, guys, if you can see this, like I was telling you, the guy has spot welded it here, and then he's welded it from it behind. And I showed you how I cut the quarter panel back. I left it here. What I'm doing is, as you can see, this is the lip of the quarter panel. So he's got spot welds. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of just tapping it down like that, getting an opening, taking my grinder, getting in there and cutting it with the grinder from this way, so I don't fuck up this lip. So anyway, make sure you wear safety goggles. Now, cut the weld back in there. Go, give it a slight little more cut. There we are. Alright. There. Pull it down. There it is, rolling it open like we're opening up a can of soup, you know? And get in here again. There we go, he's got another weld. Man, I tell you, he likes welding. Love to weld, this guy. Oh wow, look at this. Look at this big stretcher going with no weld. So he spot welds it everywhere. Then he welds it to the backside, but then he goes for a good, what's that got to be, 4 or 5 inches with no welds. So there we are. Anyway, gives you an idea how I'm taking it off. I'm doing it that way. I'm not damaging any of the lip here. Get your hammer, get your dolly. I don't know where my dolly went. This is the wrong hammer. This is not for this, but get your hammer, get your dolly, you know, straighten out your edges. Get in there for your grinder. Clean it up with your grinder around there, you know. Light pop, get your metal showing. Get your weld-through primer. You'll see it, any automotive store's got it. Your weld-through primer, spray it. Make sure you spray it on the back side of your new quarter panel, because when you go, and make sure you drill your holes out on your quarter panel first for your spot welds, because when you go to put it on, you got that weld-through primer. At least you got some sort of sealer in there. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so that's how we're taking this off right now. So that, I'm just giving you a slight little example of why I did it this way. No different than here. Here's the factory plate on the bottom. I can get, or I should say it's spot welded here, but now I can get this, I can get in here. I've got room to get in here and get this off, and I'm not damaging any of this for Rick. So it might take the extra 20 minutes or half an hour, but it would sure as hell take me a lot longer to cut this off and put a new piece on than that. So that's my way about doing it. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know, but it's the way I'm doing it. It's working for me, it's turning out good, and I'm happy. Okay guys, that's it. Remember, it's always a good time at old time. See you later.